Hello and welcome back to my channel. So today I thought we would do the Cyborg Tinkerer book tag. So the Cyborg Tinkerer is by Meg LaTorre and its release date is November 17th. This book tag was created by Adventures of Mari. Mari and Meg's links will be in the description below along with the pre-order link for the Cyborg Tinkerer. So let's get started. So the first question is, from feisty to sweet and innocent, what is your favorite type of character? So my favorite type of character is the shy yet feisty type. So I like it when the characters are kind of on the shy side, kind of withdrawn, but they still will have little snarky remarks. They will kind of talk back to, let's say, like a kidnapper, or maybe not a kidnapper, but they'll talk back pretty much. They'll at first maybe they'll make just the remarks in their head, but then later they'll start to say them to other people. A book series I found did really well with this is the Charlie Travesty series. We'll try saying that 10 times fast. So the character is half vampire, half human, and because of this, she has to kind of be withdrawn into herself, but she still is really snarky even though she has no control over her life and stuff like that. So the second question is, not all romances start off on the right foot. What is your favorite type of romance? I think I am a sucker for the enemies to lovers trope. I don't know what it is, but it's just something about, I think it's the bickering. It's not all lovey-dovey at first and stuff like that. A good example of this is Hating the Boss. I haven't fully read it, but all of the little snippets that the author has put on her Instagram page of the story just make me laugh. So there's that. So the next question is, some characters are extremely motivated to exceed their end goal. What is a motivator that you like to see in stories, pretty much? So I think safety and survival are kind of my favorite, and I find they go together really well. There's this urge to want to feel safe and to survive, and I feel like it's something that if I was in their shoes I could relate with. I find that a lot of post-apocalyptic / dystopian stories do this really well, like Divergent and Eve and Hunger Games and other stories like those. Some villains do evil for the sake of doing evil, and others have other motivations. What is your favorite type of villain? So, I think, although I do love the purely evil villains who are just evil for the sake of being evil, and I love how, low they'll go to just to be evil, I do also enjoy the kind of morally gray villains. Like, you understand why they're doing what they're doing, you can still see good in them, but they're obviously the bad guys. Yeah, I really enjoy seeing that in a character. Like, you can relate with them, and if you were in their shoes, you might not do the same thing as them, but you can see why they're doing what they're doing. I think a good example of this would be the government in the duology of Uninvited. Um, they discover some sort of gene in your system that is prominent in, criminals and stuff, and so they test everyone over a certain age, and if you have said gene, you're pretty much put on a watch list kind of thing, and you're brought to a different school, and everyone's harder on you, and if you punch someone or something, then you'll get this tattoo on your neck saying that you're dangerous and all this stuff. So although the government is obviously awful for doing this to especially young people, I understand why. Criminals are scary and stuff like that. So that kind of villain is really interesting to me, even though they are and aren't the main villain, I believe. I can't remember. It's been forever since I read that. But yeah. In science fiction and fantasy, the settings can range from magical forest to dystopian hell, pretty much. What is your favorite type of setting? I mostly read fantasy and uh, dystopian with the odd like sci-fi space story. The Cyborg Tinkerer has actually been my first steampunk, so it was really refreshing to have a new look on things. And so the only other space story I've really read is The 100, and that one I really like the scenery in because like it takes place in the far future after the world has ended pretty much. Humans went up into space, now they're coming back down to the ground, and just the forestry is different. There's like two-headed deer, and the moss on trees glow, and there's like acid fog and stuff like that. And I like scenes that I can imagine in my head that are well descripted but not like info dumped. And yeah, so if you like scenery in your stories, I would recommend The 100 because yeah, it has some really nice scenes in it. Yeah, so I pretty much like really pretty scenes. It doesn't matter if it's a ballroom, if it's a spaceship, or if it's in a magical forest, as long as it's like well described and it's vivid in my mind, then I'll enjoy it. Come one, come all to the mysterious circus of cyborgs. If you had to choose, what is your favorite book that revolves around a circus or challenges? So, honestly, the Cyborg Tinkerer was my first book I've ever read that involved a circus. I know I'm far behind, but I didn't pick up on the craze quite as fast. Although after reading the Cyborg Tinkerer, I am definitely going to be looking into more circus-based books. If I had to pick a book, though, that surrounded around challenges, I would probably go with The Hunger Games, just because the games itself is a series of challenges and you have to survive in order to win. Some obstacles are enemies, while others have big talons and sharp fangs. What is your favorite type of obstacle halfway through a book? This is a tough one for me. I think that it would have to be, though, like, facing the bad guy and losing, or like facing one of his henchmen and losing. There's just something about the whole seeing the bad guy, fighting him, and then maybe he gets away, or he kidnaps one of your friends or something. There's just something about that, it like adds an extra edge to the story. I find that the Shadow Falls books do this pretty well. It's like a 5-book series, and each book, our main character ends up meeting an obstacle halfway through. It's normally like the bad guy and she gets a glimpse of them. They have this little mini showdown and then the bad guy gets away. And it might actually happen in one of them. I just don't remember which one. But either way, I just really enjoy that. Love triangles. Some people love them, some people hate them. What is your favorite or least favorite love triangle in a book? I used to love triangles, but I find that over the years I've kind of differed away from them. I find that a lot of them aren't executed very well because I'll either like both parties so much, and then like the author makes us like them both so much, and then they make one of them do something stupid like cheat or something like that, and I find them unredeemable, and so does the main character, and just making them unredeemable isn't a good way to make your main character choose which one. Which is something I liked about the Cyborg Tinkerer, is that Meg did not do this, although she did make one of the characters backstep in the relationship a bit. She was able to redeem said character. But it's very difficult I find, for the love triangle thing to work. And I'm going to mention the Shadow Falls books again. I ended up, by the 5th book, I ended up disliking both guys, and I kind of wished that the main character would pick neither of them. But of course she ended up picking one, and I wasn't really a big fan of that, but I still enjoyed the story. So, in science fiction, the ship often acts as its own character. What is your favorite ship from a book, or your favorite form of space travel. So I'm going to do the space travel one first. I really enjoyed the Cyborg Tinkerer and how the spaceship was like an actual like ship, like as if like pirates and stuff, like it was a boat. I really enjoyed that, but apart from that, I think my favorite ship would have to be from The 100, although it's the only other space-related book I've read thus far. I really enjoyed how the author was able to describe the ship and give it kind of some backstory without going too far into detail about the ship. We know kind of that there's 2 different classes of people in the ship, that they're able to cut the ship off from each class, like the lower class and the upper class and stuff, and I just found it really interesting. Not everyone is lucky enough to be born into a loving family. What is your favorite type of finding family? So I think my favorite type, although I do love the whole bond between blood siblings and parents that you grew up with, and I also like the trope of the found family. I think my favorite thing is when a forgotten, lost, or unknown family member comes into the picture. Like, again, in the Shadow Falls series, she finds out that her father is not her blood father and all this stuff, and she meets her blood grandparents, and just their bond is really interesting. So that was the Cyborg Tinkerer tag. Remember to check out links below for Meg's channel and Mari's channel and the original video for this tag, and pre-order the Cyborg Tinkerer, and yeah. I'm going to be doing a review on the Cyborg Tinkerer hopefully within the next month. It was really good. I strongly recommend you go out and pre-order it. Yeah, so I will see you guys in the next video. Like, comment, ring the bell, all that fun stuff, and I will see you later. Bye-bye!